Have you ever wondered how many colors are there in the world we live in? Well, infinite, because colors are a continuous spectrum of light. However, in our daily life, we come across so many colors from this infinite spectrum. And how wonderful is that? It's a never ending thing. There's always some new shade of a color, be it your clothes or the color of your furniture or house, anything you talk about. Also, in nature, you see so many variants of colors, be it the trees or animals. Super interesting. It's so nice to have so many colors. But on the other hand, this results in a bit of complexity when we think about describing a color to someone. It might be okay when we are having a conversation which is casual, maybe with our friends or our family. For example, if I have to describe it to my friend that I was lucky to watch this beautiful sunset yesterday at the beach. The sky was painted peach orange. It was so beautiful. And nothing is expected out of it. You don't have to buy or sell anything. It's just casual, right? There's going to be no impact if it was not peach orange. But for example, if you have to go to the shop and ask for a specific color, and if you just say, I want a color which is bluish or a shade of blue with a lot of white in it, or a shade of blue with a bit of red mix in it, how much, what proportion, you cannot be sure. Therefore, to solve this problem, back in 1963, Pantone came with a system which was like a standard for color codes. By the way, Pantone is an American company headquartered in New Jersey. So if someone has to communicate or describe to someone that what kind of color or what specific color do they want, they just have to speak that color code and they would get it. And this simplified a lot of things because this system was accepted worldwide and was set as a standard. Now, for example, in our house, the paint was coming out of our doors, which are gray in color. It's a very specific kind of gray. So, unless we knew the color code for the specific shade of gray, we could have not bought the right color. It could have been a lot of trial and error till we get the right shade, or maybe in that process, we would have just ruined the door, or maybe would have made it look really ugly. So, just to have that precision, this system helps us a lot. And as we are going to talk about a color of the year, Pantone again has a role there. And it's interesting to see that color of the year is becoming more of a trend-setting concept for which is used mostly in branding, marketing, and the creative society in general. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Maps and Metaphors. This is your host Pranav, and today we are going to talk about color of the year. So let's get started. Now you might be wondering, color of the year? What is that? Well, I also got to know about it recently from a friend of mine. So I went ahead and did a bit of research, and I would like to share my findings with you guys. Color of the year is a concept that was introduced back in the late 90s by an American company named Pantone. This company is a prominent authority in the color industry. So, Pantone actually selects a color each year that it believes best represents the global mood, attitudes, and what's going on in the world. You might wonder, why do we need a color of the year? Well, it seems there's more hidden meaning to it than just picking a favorite color. They say it's a reflection of society and cultural trends. In other words, it is like a snapshot of our shared experiences. It's like a global mood ring, giving color to our collective feelings. Now, there's another question, which is very obvious that Uh, who pays attention to this color? Well, I found out that many sectors do, such as fashion industries, fashion designers, artists, manufacturers, and many more. And this color tends to pop up in various sectors from clothing and home decor to product packaging and advertising. So, does it mean we are under some kind of color control? Well, it doesn't seems to me like that, and it seems that it's more of a suggestion than a rule. In any case, you are free to choose your own color palette in this free world, right? So, however, like having color of the year does influence trends in various industries worldwide. That's important to know. So, what does it mean for you and me, the average folks? Well, it might not change our lives directly, but it gives us a chance to be a part of a global narrative. When we use something of the color of the year, we are participating in a shared global experience, right? And become more of a global trend with its influence reaching from the catwalks of Paris to the high streets of Tokyo. Also, another interesting thing related to India, I found out that in Bollywood, the color of the year can also influence the designs of the set, the costumes, also the promotional materials. So, just quite a thing. So, there could be an influence there as well. So, it's interesting to know. Now, further, you might wonder, when is the color of the year chosen? How is it exactly done? And who is involved? Is that a one person or is it like a panel? So, I got some findings to share. The color of the year is actually chosen in advance, typically at the end of the preceding year. The process of selecting the color is a thoughtful and a rigorous one. So, yes, it does require some efforts, I guess. And Pantone, the company that started this tradition, has a dedicated team of color experts who are involved in this process. The selection process begins with trend analysis. Pantone's color specialists look for new color influences across the world. They explore a variety of fields, including the entertainment industry, art collections, fashion, all areas of design, popular travel destinations, such as, like, for example, some other things like lifestyle, sports, and socio-economic conditions. They even consider parameters like new technologies, materials, textures, and effects that impact the color or the color choice. So it's really interesting to know all this, at least to me. I hope for you guys as well. These color experts further meet to debate and discuss the trends they have identified and analyze them within the context of the broader societal mood. They consider what color best encapsulates the spirit of the time. Once a final color is chosen, Pantone announces the color of the year to the world. The chosen color is then used as a strategic direction for design professionals and brands, and it influences product development in various industries, including fashion, home furnishing, industrial design, graphic design, even. So it's having quite some impact actually. And while the process of selecting the color might seem simple on the surface, as I said, like, yeah, already I think mentioned, it's actually a complex task that involves deep understanding of color theory, cultural trends, and global sentiment. So, It's really, really having a lot of layers and layers of parameters and information to come to a conclusion, right? So it's really interesting to me. So there's another point that comes to my head, and that is about the selection of color is actually done by Pantone's team, which is based in the United States. So there's there could be a possibility that there's an inherent bias in any process or decision that they make, right? It could be, right? It could be. Hence, it's important to use the color of the year as a guide and not as a mandate, and depending who you are and, in general, so that there is actually room for local and personal interpretations as well. So it should not be like a robot is following it, but actually bring out the question like, is it really a fit? Okay, maybe, maybe not. So both sides are really interesting, at least for me. So as we navigate through our lives each year, the because of the color of the year, the color of the year could be like a bookmark in our global story, as we live through each year. So it's really interesting just to imagine and map it with a color. Yeah, could be for some of us. So I think that's all for this episode. I hope you like it. Once again, stay curious, stay amazed, and keep exploring. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Cheers.